Let's one final topic on the table. Hold on to the table. I'll corner kick you a bunch of headlines. We're talking about USA soccer. Then we're talking about the English Premier League. And then we're talking about other teams in town. Very briefly, if you're a soccer fan, these are the headlines. Utter chaos with Team USA. First, it was they got taken out in the World Cup after getting to the knockout round. Then it was the unfulfilled contract of Greg Berhalter. Then it was the Gio Reyna controversy with Reyna's family and Berhalter's situation. Then Brian McBride, the general manager, early this week, resigned. Now, today, Thursday, Ernie Stewart, the director of soccer operations, resigned to take an executive job in Netherlands where he played back in the day. So suddenly, Team USA, which has an assistant coach acting as an interim head coach and got beat by Serbia in their first friendly the other night, Team USA has no leadership. It's adrift out there. There is no Ernie Stewart, Brian McBride, nor Greg Berhalter. I don't understand this. They say Berhalter is still in the running. Why should he not be the head coach continuing on, despite this issue that he apologized for, got counseling for, that occurred in 1991? So that's a big storyline that all these people are drifting apart. And across the border, it's pretty bad too. We talked about the mess in Mexico and the leadership and the politics and the agendas. Mexico's been fined $11,000 and forfeited 2 different tournaments they were in for illegally using the young forward Alexandra Zendejas. He's a Mexican-American who could play on either side. They used him without doing the proper paperwork to commit him to play in Mexico. They used him in a game. So the governing body, CONCACAF, has unloaded on Mexico. And Mexico doesn't have a coach. And Mexico's got all types of player problems. So that story's out there. In the English Premier League, the last time this team got removed from the EPL was 1931. It's called relegation. There are 20 teams in the English Premier League. If you finish 20th, 19th, or 18th in the standings, or the table as they call it there, you're relegated out of that league. You go to a lower division, and they take 3 teams from the lower divisions had the best seasons. They're elevated up top. Everton has not been relegated out of the English Premier League since 1931, and right now they're in 19th place, about to go down. They just fired their legendary, very popular head coach, Frank Lampard. So that's a big story. Chelsea, here comes the deal. Transfer window is open. Christian Pulisic, Team USA star, is going to be moved. We thought he was going to Newcastle United. Now he's hurt. He's going to be out another month with a sprained knee. Christian Pulisic is in the middle of negotiations to go to AC Milan to play in Italy in their elite league. Look for that deal to come down. Old stadiums, Manchester United. They play in a place called Old Trafford. Old Trafford has been operating since 1910. Man U has just announced they are funding construction of an 80,000-seat, state-of-the-art new stadium outside of London there in Manchester, England, to replace Old Trafford. Name it Joe Corona. You know this name.
Yeah.
Played here. Has played in MLS. Has played in the for the U.S. World Cup team. He played for Tijuana Cholos. Joe Corona is coming home. He's going to play for the San Diego Loyal, Landon Donovan's team in the USL. And one other thing, they get virtually no pub at all. I don't understand it. They got great heritage. The San Diego Sockers. They are 8-0 out of the gate. They have a 28-match regular season winning streak. Superb team led by goal scorer Craig Childs and a whole group of young players. They kind of play in anonymity at the sports arena. They draw 1,700 fans per game, yet they are the legendary franchise that dates all the way back to Ron Newman and the old MISL, Major Indoor Soccer League, and the success they had outdoors. So that's your soccer headlines. If you corner kick me a response, I'd appreciate hearing from you. But there's a lot of stuff out there. All right, I filled your bowl with all these stories. Give me a response.
Well, just a couple of comments. First of all, the San Diego Sockers are definitely an underappreciated asset here in San Diego. They have an incredible record of championships. And in the early 80s, I used to go to a lot of the games at the sports arena, and they had Julie V, and it was really dynamic, and they packed the sports arena back in the day. So, hopefully they can come along and develop. I think it's an exciting kind of a minor league sport in the world of pro sports in San Diego. I love how the English Premier League will demote teams to the second division and promote teams. That's an exciting way to manipulate the league that we don't see in other sports, but it's interesting. And then finally, as far as Team USA goes, they're adrift with leadership at the top. But, Uni does a really good job covering them is Mark Ziegler from the Uni Tribune. Right. He's a great writer. And he's often talked about how the leadership of the development program and all the youth leagues and how they prepare the young players to move on and to become stars in the national on the national team, that is also in chaos as well. So the U.S. national program, the Federation, has a lot of work to do.
They do, and they've got some real issues to decide because Berhalter has the backing of his players to come back, and only time will tell in the next month or so as to whether they take care of Berhalter. And nobody's talking about why Brian McBride exited. Nobody's talking about, was there a story behind the story with Ernie Stewart leaving Team USA to go back to Eindhoven in the Netherlands. All right, it's time.